Steven and I had a debate. He's reviewing the debate. I did an 8-minute review. He responded to that. I'm just going to give you 6 facts and 1 opinion. And this is a response to his most recent video. It has very little to do with the actual debate, but he claims he responded to my points in the debate. If you go back and watch the debate, at no time does he address 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 11. In his review of the debate, he answers it, and he answers the passages in Acts. Now, I understand if he didn't want to address it during the debate. I allowed. We had a misunderstanding about whether Paul's words in Acts are under review, under our discussion. So that could have got lost in the wash. But there are clearly arguments I brought that were from 1 Corinthians, Galatians 5, and they were not addressed in the debate. Look at the debate, everyone. See what passages I brought up from Paul's epistles and see if he spoke to any of them without going to Romans 8 or 9 and trying to affirm a doctrine. Now you're claiming that I'm claiming that you misrepresented me when you just played the audio. You did misrepresent what I said the middle voice means. What I said explicitly was when someone participates in an action, it's middle voice. They're doing either all or most or some of the action. Now, if I say God chooses and that's middle voice, you can't just say, well, God's doing it. That's what middle voice means. Because the debate is about whether it's all or part of the action. I think I may have already said this, so I don't know why you would try, and the bad faith is on your side. I guess that's a second opinion I'll throw out there, because I'm looking to the debate and I'm making points. My definition is not what you're using, and the things that I said is not, but I'm getting sidetracked. Now, your response in this recent episode was that the middle voice verb is aorist indicative. That doesn't give you sufficient reason to say the middle voice doesn't mean participation. I gave you the criteria for exceptions to the rule when middle voice doesn't mean action or participation. I gave you those criteria, and aorist indicative was not one of them. Just because this verb is plural, this word is singular, that doesn't matter. The other aspects of the verb do not change the middle voice or what they mean. So you're not making a rational argument. Now, if your doctrine is true and you're assuming it's true, then this can't mean participation. So that's all I'm getting. All I'm getting is circular reasoning. Here's the opinion. Stumbling through Greek pronunciation from Bible Hub doesn't make you a Greek scholar. I talk about the Greek language after I do research. I never claim to be an expert. And I really thought going into the debate that the way that you read these passages and give the voice and the tense and everything, I thought you knew more about Greek than I do. But reading the Greek text from Bible Hub, parsing words, it seems like an attempt that you just want to appear smarter than everyone else. You took the verses I brought up in debate, you went to Bible Hub, and then you made this video and didn't even make a coherent case that I was incorrect in anything that I was saying. I said in the video that I only listened to the opening statement and then I responded. I wasn't skimming the entirety of the video. If I can't say an explicit thing, like I only listened to this much, and you accuse me of skimming the video, I don't know how we can even communicate. I don't think the debate was profitable. I think if we continue to talk about it, maybe that's useful, but and I don't think an objective observer would say that you won the debate, even if what you're saying is true. Even if I agreed with you, I would say that you did not perform well in the debate. I was prepared for you to argue in the debate that I was appealing to philosophy and not scripture. I was prepared to deal with that, but now you're raising it up at the end. An important part of philosophy is logic. So if you had made that argument, I would deal with it. But you yourself would take any theology that you found to be an error and you would find logical reasons to reject it. No one turns on logic until logic turns on them. There are philosophical problems that your view has that I'm not saying can't be answered. I'm not saying someone else out there can't answer them. I'm saying you didn't do that, and you're still refusing to do that. You said in your previous video that I wasn't sharp, I wasn't brutal, I wasn't holding your feet to the fire, and you faulted me for that. And I explained the reason I did that because I could tell partway through the debate you weren't prepared, you weren't dealing with anything I was presenting. You thought that reading the text is the same as giving the meaning when the prophet Ezra did both, read the text and give the meaning. When you don't give the meaning, you can just claim, oh, I gave this and the meaning was clear and he didn't respond to it. I'm not going to argue with the scripture you quote. I'm going to disagree with your understanding of the meaning. I'm going to continue to watch your critique, and I'm going to continue to respond to it and try to evaluate it as objectively as possible. But unless you want to have another discussion or debate, I see no need in going back and forth.